Welcome to the Fourshade Studio Podcast. I'm Blake Bodenhammer. Joining me today is Devin Devon and Brock Fergers. What's up, guys?
Hi.
What is up?
So this is a new thing we're doing. We're trying this podcast out, and basically we're just going to be talking about Nintendo games. So we're new to this whole thing, so this is going to be probably pretty rough. So, we've been playing some games recently, mainly Super Mario Party for the Switch and The Legend of Zelda, the original.
The good one. The rest all suck. That's what I've heard.
Right. It's a good one. So first, let's go ahead and talk about.
I'm really sorry.
You're fired. Feel free to leave.
Okay, what's the first talking point?
Let's talk about Mario Party, Super Mario Party. What do you guys think about it?
I like it. I think it's really fun. I like that it's not strictly a team thing. Since I know that's been like a complaint in the past. I was initially worried about like the smaller boards and the dice not like having as many spaces you can go, but I think the two smaller numbers, both in board spaces and dice spaces, just kind of counteract each other, so it functions as like one of the more original Mario parties.
I'd agree with that completely, but I have one major complaint. The different dies and whatnot add the element of strategy to it, or you can completely ignore them. That's amazing, but I've found that the balancing in the game, because of course Mario Party has balancing, that's important, especially with coins, make it kind of boring after a while because you never need to get coins. You always have 50 coins. You never don't have enough for the star. And that's
Unless you're Donkey Kong and you move 10 spaces every turn and then you get to the star immediately.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. What about like the balancing? Do you think some of the die are clearly better than others?
Oh yeah.
100%.
Well, like Donkey Kong, he has 10, but then he also has 0, so that can somehow
I mean,
equal
you
somehow.
you have like some risky die like Donkey Kong's. But I mean, Rosalina has some really good options. Like you either get +2 coins, like is your lowest value basically, and then I think 7 or 8 is the highest value, and like that's really good. And there's nothing really negative about it. You don't have coins taken away from you. You don't move like 0 spaces without any benefit of having extra coins. So, I mean, I would definitely prefer something like that over a high risk one like Donkey Kong's.
I don't
Yeah.
know about you. At the end of the day, the dice, there might be better or worse ones, but I'm still going to choose the character I want to play. So, really, it doesn't matter. I'm Yoshi all the way.
True. Well, I liked how they also still allowed you to do that because you don't have just the character die, but you also have the 1 through 6 just standard die.
Right.
And I like that you can get ally characters and use their die as well. And just add to your repertoire of different strategies you can use with the die.
The allies are actually the greatest part of that game, and I completely forgot they existed. So,
Right.
that's the thing.
Well, let's go through some of these modes and talk about them a little bit. So, the story mode, like the standard mode, Have you played through a lot of that at all?
I haven't done much, no. Just the general objectives and whatnot.
Right.
I'm glad that they have them. That's basically my comment on that. Better than playing games for no reason whatsoever. And actually, I've found it pretty fun to play by myself, which is weird because that has not been a thing with other Mario parties.
That's kind of what I thought too, because I'm so used to playing the other ones on like GameCube and stuff that it's more fun to definitely play those with actual people. But now the AI, I feel like, is good enough that it actually can make a difference.
I've gotten screwed by the AI just like I've gotten screwed by my friends, and that's a good thing in Mario Party.
Well, and what I've noticed is the bonus stars at the end are very random, and those seem to screw over a ton.
Yeah, I don't understand the method of how they choose what stars to award to whom.
That's the beauty, it's chaos.
Well, it's like it almost rewards the playing poorly sometimes.
Yeah, like moving the least amount of spaces or whatever.
Yeah, it's like what the happening star used to do every time, basically.
Right. I don't know.
But once again, the only problem with that is maybe bonus stars are a little bit too powerful and they change the game too much, but at the same time, it's Mario Party.
Because like it rewards people that are good at mini games too much almost. Because in the past it was like you had the mini game star and you also had the coin star. So if you won enough mini games, that's coins in return, which then almost guarantees the other bonus.
Yep.
So I mean, it's different, and like we were saying, the number of spaces you move definitely less, but the maps are also a lot smaller, so equals out. What about the partner mode? You play that at all?
I played that one time and I was blown away about how much I loved it. So that erased basically every complaint I had about the game not being big enough, I guess.
Right.
So it's a completely different game.
Yeah. Well, the way that you can move as a grid is just throws everything on its head. And that you have to land exactly on spaces to do certain things. You don't just pass the star, you have to land it exactly on it.
Basically, what that turns out to mean is that if you're an odd number of spaces away from a thing, you have to roll an odd number to get there. And that means 50-50 shot of not making it to the space right next to you, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So I hate to be lame, but I'm actually gonna head out. But I will see you guys later. And thanks for having me.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That just because it's different, and I haven't played it really a ton, but it's definitely good for variety.
And that's basically what keeps you coming back to Mario Party, I think, is to have something different happen in each game. But it's still Mario Party.
Right, and there's enough modes that it allows you to do that. What about the River Rapids mode? How are you liking that?
Another reason this game is actually one of my favorite Mario parties. So I played it alone one time. I got down the river so easily that I killed myself at the end because I thought it was just way too easy.
Oh.
Turns out, when I played it a second time with friends, we died like halfway up the river, and it's not actually the easiest thing in the world, and for that reason, I love it.
Well, yeah, I played it a few times by myself, and I was finishing it with way too much time, and I was like, okay, this is way too easy. But the some of the games you play when you actually play them with other people are like you have to be so in tune with everyone else to actually get anything accomplished. Like some games that come to mind are like the one where you have the controller and you're fishing up the cheap cheeps.
Yep.
It's
And,
like if one person doesn't lift it in sync, it's like you're screwed.
oh yeah, it forces everybody to communicate, which is the fun
Right.
part of it. We were basically yelling 1, 2, 3, up.
Yeah. Right. Well, and so like some of those are easy enough to kind of coordinate with a countdown or something like that, but like there's ones that were like the one where you're picking the different suits of cards.
Oh,
All the cards are laid out in kind of a tile formation. It's like how do you coordinate within those 5 seconds? Oh, I'm getting the spade in the bottom right,
right. And
but and then
actually,
like some of them will be like some of the spades will be like grouped up like all like which bottom right are you talking about?
and that's another one that has the same effect as the river rafting itself, where if you play it alone, you can kind of do it. The AI is kind of predictable, I think.
Right.
When
Yeah.
we played it as 4 human players,
Yeah.
on that third turn, when it does the swapping of
Yeah.
the places,
And it like
there's
rotates.
there's no chance.
Yeah.
It becomes the most difficult game ever, and for that reason, I think it's great.
Right. Well, and the thing I like also is that the mini games in the River Rapids mode affect how much bonus time you get added. So when you're, I guess that is a complaint I kind of have, is that when you're playing it, it's obviously kind of designed to play it with other people, but when you're playing it solo with just the AI, it is almost too easy because they mirror your actions.
Yep.
Whatever you do, they do. So there's really not any challenge, except when you end up getting all the paths cleared, you unlock like the hard mode of it or whatever. And I did a couple rounds of that, and that was actually difficult.
It's good to hear. I hadn't gotten that far.
Yeah. So
but in the end, it's a multiplayer game that you're
Right.
really supposed to play with multiple people, and it's understandable if it's not the greatest thing playing solo.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. Let's see, what other modes do we have? There's the online, which I'm kind
We
of
don't have
torn
to talk
about.
about that. We don't have to talk about that.
Well, it's
Online
just-
doesn't exist for my
It's just
purposes.
disappointing because it's like I want to play a full game of Mario Party with people online.
You and everyone else.
I don't care if I feel like their main reason why they didn't do that is because they don't want people dropping out. But it's like just fill it with AI. Like that's what every other game does.
I 100% agree. And actually, another disappointing thing that's not online, but it's kind of the same thing, is if you're playing with 2 switches, if someone gets disconnected during that game, there is no option to recover that game. It's just gone. And
Okay.
I feel like they took the same exact thinking to that and said, well, we can't do it locally. How are we going to do this online?
Right.
And
yeah.
in which case, yeah, it's no fun when your game gets erased halfway through.
Right.
So they nixed it.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's kind of like the Nintendo mentality with their online anyways. Like it's not surprising.
No, not
It's
at
like
all.
every online thing they have is very quick, like bursts of whatever you're doing. Like if it's like a Smash Bros match, that's only a couple minutes. Like a Mario Kart race, it's all things that are like in quick bursts that really don't matter if you get disconnected because you can easily hop back in.
Right.
But I don't know. I just wish they would just, I don't know, open up their mindset about some of that stuff.
I mean, it get a lot of people who buy the game that don't already have it. I know tons of people who won't buy it.
When it's just
that's-
such a, like, everyone's talking about why they set it up that way, so it's just like, listen to the fans.
But we all know they're Nintendo in the end, so.
Yeah. What else we got for modes?
Toy
Sticker
House.
mode. Have you played sticker mode?
That's another Nintendo thing. When
Yeah,
I went
it's
down
like-
there, I saw sticker mode. I thought they would put this in this game, and then I
Right.
left and never went back.
Yep. Pretty much. It's just like, what is the point? Like, I get that the Switch has like screenshot capabilities. Like, is that their thinking? Do this thing, screenshot it, and now you have it in your little photo gallery.
I hope the 5 to 10-year-olds with Mario Party are loving it, because that would make me feel better.
Right.
There's the Toad's Playhouse, Toad's
Oh,
whatever
Rec Room.
minigame
Yeah, Toad's
thing.
Rec Room. I really haven't actually messed around with that too much.
I got to actually pair up with a friend last week and do all of those with 2 Switches.
2 Switches.
Yeah. I mean, they're not things you play for more than, 10 minutes on their own, but some of them are actually quite fun. Like
Right.
the banana thing, I'm sure you've seen the preview videos of it. It basically shows parts of a banana on both screens, and you're supposed to match the switches up with the right directions.
Right, yeah.
The amount of difficulty how difficult that is amazes me. It gives you I think it's 5 or so bananas you're supposed to put together. It took us 2 minutes or so to do these 5 bananas, which I don't know if that sounds like a lot, but that was a lot of time on each banana for how simple
Right.
it is, right?
Yeah.
So that was a fun thing to do. I'm glad it's in there. Not sure why it's in there, but
Right. It's
Yeah.
like, I feel like a lot of that stuff is just, it's kind of gimmicky, but I like it. It's just, it shows off the Switch capabilities and using 2 or whatever.
Yep.
Like the mini game where you're in the tanks shooting each other. I thought that was interesting.
yeah, we actually didn't do that one, but that's the one I thought might have the most replayability is in. Let's go 20 rounds back
Right.
to back to back,
Yeah. For the longest time, I was almost confused on how, what the technology was that they were implementing to combine multiple switches. But I was reading somewhere that if you think about it, you can place 2. It has you swipe back and forth between the connection point of the 2 switches. And it's really just reading the 2 points on each of the devices and using that as the wall or whatever.
Yeah, it's basically adding a second screen to your reminder to your computer and then going
Right,
into
yeah,
Windows settings and dragging it around, except the dragging it around is a swipe, and that's the
Right.
brilliant part.
Yeah. It's so simple, but it's like, how are they doing that?
And the fact that they designed the switches to be, I guess, rectangular and easily fit together like that,
Right.
without the Joy-Cons on them, was smart, because they obviously had this thought from the beginning.
Right. Well, and that I don't know about you, but that I feel like is the first time I've actually seen them do anything like that I can remember, at least.
Yeah, I think it is. I
Which-
just hope that
I feel like that kind of opens up opportunities for other games to at least try something like that. I don't know, obviously what you could do, but there's definitely something out there.
Oh, I mean, I would love if they just expanded it past 2 switches, like
Right.
having that tank game and just having a board that you could continually grow by adding new switches.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So once again, there's all sorts of potential for new experiences on Nintendo console. It's just a matter of whether they actually take advantage of those in multiple games.
Right.
Now we know it's not Ubisoft that's going to do that, but hopefully Nintendo does.
Yeah. Well, modes, I think we've covered them all. Can you think of any more?
I have to give a shout out, of course, to the small baseball mode, which is essentially
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
baseball from Super Monkey Ball 2. And
Yeah,
anything that's basically Super Monkey Ball 2, I'm all about.
same. Any
yeah.
Super Monkey Ball video or mini game, I'm all for.
So yeah, I played that for a good 15 minutes because I'm easily amused, I guess, and because it was solid enough for me to keep being entertained.
Yeah. So let's talk about DLC. Is there a possibility for some? Do you picture DLC coming? What are your thoughts on DLC?
How about Amiibo LC?
Yeah.
That's about it.
Well, I know I guess that's a good thing to get into. Amiibos right now, really their only functionality, I think, is the stickers.
Yep.
Scan one in. I think it's once a day you get a sticker added to your collection.
And you
But-
get some star points or whatever
Oh, okay.
things. Wolf Link works for that, by the way.
I didn't know that.
There you go.
I figured only the Mario themed would, but
Link confirmed for Mario Party. There it is. You heard it here first.
well, I guess that is another good thing to bring up. The party pad. For the longest time, I could only use the party points to unlock the hints.
That's all I can still
In-
unlock.
Well, do you want to know how to continue
you can
this?
spoil Mario Party for me.
It was frustrating when I found out. So you go, Toad waves you over. He's like, "Yo, this is the party pad," and you can tell there's so many different things that you're missing because it's all question marked out. It's like, okay, there's more here. Like, what are these points that I'm getting? Like, can even be spent on? And the pipe that unlocks the sticker mode popped up. I went down in there, viewed the stickers, and then left. You actually have to create an image, and then Toad calls you over again. You can tell when something else is going to be unlocked because Toad is sitting there waving his hand in that main area of the plaza.
Okay.
He said, "Oh, now you can buy stickers now that you have used the sticker mode once." So I'm like, oh my god, this was like stickers was my barrier to entry with this. Was actually spending the currency in the game.
Gosh dang it, Blake, you have to have fun in all the ways.
Right. So I did that, and then I think the next thing you unlocked was actually the sounds, the music,
That's
which
the
I
thing.
knew you would like.
It's my jam.
I don't know,
Yep.
but that's the thing. I don't know if you have to go into some sort of like sound. I don't know if you have to do the. Oh, we missed the sound mini games. Let's talk about that real quick. Do you like those? The rhythm games?
Yeah, I love those actually. They're extremely simple,
Right.
but at the same time, hard mode is super hard to actually do
Yes.
well. And I
Yeah.
don't feel like I'm being screwed by the controller or anything. I think I'm just bad at it.
No,
which-
yeah, that's how I am. It's so it's like it's all on you. It's not like it doesn't feel like, oh, I inputted the wrong button press or something. It's like I didn't move correctly. This is me.
And like I don't even have to sit there, do my
Right.
full dance moves. I'm just sitting there going like,
Yeah.
apparently that's the most fun thing in the world.
Yeah. Well, I like how it doesn't seem disjointed. It seems like the entire thing is like one complete song or something.
Right.
There's that underlying beat the whole time, and it keeps like getting switched up. Like when you're doing the horse racing game, it still has that beat. It's like dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun. But it has like a country feel or whatever. Then you go into, I don't know what the other modes. The
Window
like
washing. Come on.
the window washing. That one was actually, I thought, the most different out of all of them.
Yeah, because you don't have to stay on beat to get
Right.
it all.
You can swipe whenever, I guess.
Yeah.
The one that threw me off for the longest time was the ones where you're in the crowd and you're holding up the signs.
Yeah.
The timing, for some reason, I couldn't get down.
And they switch up the what do you call it? Pattern of everything. So you have to
Right, yeah.
keep up to what everybody else is doing, and plus the timing part, it becomes very
Well,
more difficult than it should be.
like other players, when they are either late or early, that like screws me up too. Because I'm
Right.
like, oh, I'm not doing it correctly.
Because yours depends on the other player, right?
Right.
Which isn't the case in any of the other ones, I think, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's the one that always screwed me up. So yeah, there was that. So going back to what we were talking about earlier with the party pad, I don't know how you unlock the music. I don't know if you have to go back into that rhythm mode or whatever, or like somehow go into the sound settings. But the next thing you unlock is the ability to use your party points to buy like music, which is cool.
It's something, yeah.
Yeah, and that's like where it starts really unlocking things. So I actually found its purpose finally, thank God.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time I was like, am I missing like a complete mode or something? Like how do I unlock this?
Since the menu is just like a tiny open world thing, yeah, you don't know if you're missing something.
Right. Or like it's Mario, like a pipe would just like appear or something, or like a beanstalk up to clouds or something. It's like, I don't know what's gonna appear here.
50 hours of playtime is going to be something.
Yeah. Oh, well, one other mode. I guess we're missing all these modes. The Champions Road. Have you played that at all?
Nope.
So I couldn't play that for the longest time because it unlocks when you get all of the mini games. And I was missing one and I couldn't figure out what it was from. And somehow I was missing one from the partner battle. So I went in there, it finally unlocked, and then because the Champions Road or whatever, it's always there, but Toad has the little stall under construction. He's like,
Right.
This place isn't ready yet. So it unlocks when you do all the mini games. That was actually pretty fun.
Love to hear it.
You basically play through I think there's 80 mini games, and it's a challenge for each one of them. So it's like, do something within a certain time limit. On some of the mini games where you're collecting coins, it'll be like, collect this many coins, don't get hit by anybody.
Okay.
So I mean, it's cool because it's at least puts an added challenge on the
Right.
mini games. It's like it's giving it a difficulty, I guess.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't go into the mini games and just play them by themselves unless you just
Right.
really liked one mini game. But having a challenge makes you go and play them, which
Right.
I appreciate.
It sets up like a new set of rules that they almost seem like homebrew rules, sort of.
It's cool. Yeah.
And so you can unlock 2 characters that way. It's cool. You unlock Diddy that way, and also Pom Pom.
Homestar Runner, Pom Pom.
I
Please.
wish. So, and then once you beat all of those, you unlock a hard mode of all of those challenges.
Okay.
And some of the challenges were actually hard on their own. I can't even imagine what they would be on hard mode. So it'll be weird for sure.
Replayability.
Yep.
More than you
Well,
could
and that's
ever
the
ask.
nice thing that I have noticed is like, one, there's so many modes, which is good for replayability because it's not just like the traditional party mode. There's all these different things you can do if you're sick of that. But then also, if you complete all those, there's the added difficulty of basically the hard mode that gets added once you beat them completely.
Right. Yeah, and for me at least, that completely makes up for the lack of content and only having 4 boards. Honestly,
Right.
I kind of expect them to add more boards, but at the same time, I'm not even mad anymore. Like it seems most people are, because I think 2 of the boards are good. In most Mario parties, I only play 2 of the boards anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, but pretty much.
Well, in Mario Party is such like a non-scripted game where if you have 2 boards that are good, you at least have the possibility of something interesting happening.
Right. Yeah, there's
Especially
things.
when you're playing with humans, like 4 human players. Like anything could happen.
Yep. And even on the boards, I know in Mario Party 4, there were events that happened on boards that I didn't see until playing that game for 300 hours with friends.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
know the boards are smaller in this one, but I'm sure the same thing will happen.
Right. Well, so do you think there will be DLC? Do you think there will be the possibility of new boards added?
I think boards and characters are a pretty sure bet, whether we have to pay for it or do something stupid to get those, like
Right.
buy an amiibo. I don't know. But it seems like a no-brainer to me to at least do those 2 things.
Right. The 4 boards does seem not. It doesn't seem like that's it. 4 seems like such a low number. I don't know why, but it seems like every other Mario Party has had like 5, 6 different boards. 4 just seems like such a shallow amount that I can't imagine that they won't add more.
And
But
that's
I don't know. Even if they don't, there's enough stuff like we said to do that it'll at least keep you entertained. It's a good party game.
it's Mario Party, and that's what's
Yeah.
important. I'm pretty sure Mario Party didn't exist for 7 through 10.
Yeah. It shouldn't have.
Yeah, it shouldn't have. Yeah, you're right.
All right. So this is something I was thinking about the other day with the possibility of DLC, is what characters they could add easily, what characters they could possibly add. So I was thinking, because as I was going through the Challenge Road, it's like an overworld map where you start at a space, it's red, you do the challenge, it turns blue, then you go to the next space.
Right.
And along this path, every so often, like every 3 or 4 mini games, there will be a space that's blank, which I thought was strange, and a character will run up to you, and I think the sole purpose of the character running up to you is to ask you if you want to take a break. Because that's all they ever ask. They say, "Do you want to keep playing this? Like, are you still there?" It's like this weird like Netflix. Are you still there? Are you still like, yeah, I'm still here. I'm playing a video game. But it's like, I feel like that's their way of like you going back to the party plaza or something.
Right, saving in the middle.
Right. But what I was thinking about is they almost have every different type of enemy character run up to you, fully modeled, very easily put in as a character,
Right.
as DLC. So what I want to do is sort of go through some of these characters and get your thoughts on what you think about DLC prospects.
Sure. Let's put 100 characters in Mario Party. I mean, why not?
I mean, Mario Party Ultimate. They're all coming back. So, okay, let me pull these up. And the way I found these is I noticed also that all of the characters that are modeled are actually stickers. So basically what we're going to be doing is looking through the sticker selection.
So you're spoiling all the unlockable content. Yeah, I
Right.
got it.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't want to buy all your amiibo, just look it up. Pull out your Game Boy sticker maker. All right, first one, Birdo. What do you think?
I mean, Yoshi's in. Birdo has to be in. Yoshi needs a partner.
Right.
It's simple. And Birdo is the one who you first talked to, and she's talking about the good old days of Mario Party, and she says something like, "I used to be in this," doesn't she?
Yeah, she. Sorry, I'm messing with this screen. I can't remember her exact words, but basically she says something like, yeah, like, I used to be in this. This is the 11th Mario Party, which I thought was weird.
Yeah, that they'd even acknowledge the other 10.
Yeah. Well, and I thought it was strange that they would even call this Mario Party. They're basically calling it Mario Party 11
Yeah,
without actually calling it that. Okay, so maybe, yes.
I'm going yes. If there's
Yes on
DLC,
Birdo.
Birdo will be tier 1 DLC.
I do have. I think she is a pretty high chance. Just because it seems like she is in everything. She's in the most recent game we have to base some of this stuff off of is like Mario Tennis,
There it is. Yep.
and she's playable in Mario Tennis, isn't she? So it's
Yeah.
why not here?
Why not? That should really be the question.
Let's see what else. Oops.
Spoilers.
All right. Blooper?
No.
No.
So, like you said, Mario Tennis is what we have to base everything off of, and I love that they're finally putting enemies in as normal characters. But at the same time, something tells me they're not going to keep doing that. That tennis is going to be a one-off, even
Right.
though I would love to see a blooper squirting around the stage.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And with the stage where you're going around the islands that are made out of fruit, the blooper is like a stage hazard, and there's also stage hazard bloopers in the river rapids mode that I feel like they don't want too much of that clashing.
I 100% agree with you, but that's what they said about Ridley, so there's that.
True. Well, I was kind of thinking about that because in like Smash Bros, when they have characters like on the Spirit Track stage where Link is supposed to be like driving the train or whatever, they put in a different model. So I was like, but they wouldn't do that. Like, what else would be like swimming around?
Yeah, we can't compare any of Mario Party to Smash Brothers as far
Yeah.
as detail is in.
Too different.
Yeah. Sakurai isn't working on this as far as that I know.
Right.
That's his next project.
Yeah, for sure. Bomb-omb?
No chance.
No?
There are bomb-ombs in like 4 mini games. You can't have a bomb-omb like catching bomb-ombs.
Right. It's too
ludicrous.
The thing that gets me is people will be like, it doesn't have hands. That's not an argument anymore because a Goomba is a character, and a Goomba is literally a face with legs. Like,
Yep.
But the one thing that it does have is a mouth that it does things with.
I guess you're right. I'd
Bomb-omb,
love to see it. Yeah.
Bomb-omb, clearly no mouth. So
you just stick things in his wind-up key and call it good.
So yeah, I'm with you. I don't think that we'll have Bomb-omb. It's just too much of again with the blooper, it's too much of a hazard thing. It's a thing that blows up and hurts you, not a character. So some of these things I honestly didn't even know the name of, and I had to look all these up. This is called a bruiser.
I'm not sure I've ever seen that.
Some of these had been in some of the Mario Party games that came out for either like the 3DS or the Wii U. Some of those titles that had like crazy names, like New Deluxe Super Mario Party 3DS or just some crazy thing. Some of those I didn't play, so like this guy, I had no idea what he even was until I saw him in a mini game.
Sounds like the perfect character to pull out of nowhere, so I'm going yes, confirmed.
You're going yes, Bruiser confirmed, President 2020?
Not going that far.
Okay, but confirmed DLC. Bullet Bill?
Same reasons as the others. Can't be in it because he's in mini games and it's be confusing, but man, do I want him.
Fair. I'd say no, but I wish he did. No legs.
I was going to say,
Hands,
think of
though.
a Bullet Bill just floating there. It'd be great.
Do we have any other characters that float?
Rosalina floats, apparently.
I guess Boo. Boo floats.
Yeah.
Chain Chomp.
If there was going to be an enemy in the game, Chain Chomp would be it.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. And again, the Mario Tennis. He is a playable character, which is so strange to me. But I honestly, I don't know. I don't see it. If there was going to be an enemy put in, I feel like he'd be maybe one of them. But that stage with the Chain Chomp hazard, I just can't see them doing that again.
Right.
It's a big Chain Chomp in the middle of the stage in a cage. I can't see that chasing after a tiny Chain Chomp or something.
But it'd be hilarious. And just as you can always count on Nintendo to do dumb things, you can always count on them to do random things that you weren't expecting.
Yes, random brilliance. Okay, Charge and Chuck.
I didn't know he had a 3D model, but I want him in the game now that I know that's a thing.
Right.
So no, there's no way. But
I don't think it would be either. I would love it, but my gut tells me no. Because it's just like a cool model. Like,
oh yeah, it's great. This is the first time I've seen this, and it's perfect.
Yep. Cheap Cheap.
It's a definite no. No one even wants a Cheap Sheep. Do you want a Cheap Sheep?
No, I'm going hard no on this.
It's like the Magikarp of Mario.
Right. But it doesn't evolve into an awesome anything. It just sucks.
Right.
All right. This little guy is called a Chestnut.
Well, I've seen him, but no.
No.
Nope.
I kind of almost wish he would be in. He's
like
like
shoes.
I don't know what it is. He's like, I love his kind of Goomba shape, but he's kind of like he's like a caveman style Goomba. Like he's got his big tusks almost like fangs, and he's got his big like furred brow.
Oh, I can see it, but
I'd
like to stick with the original characters in as much as possible, especially obscure ones.
Okay. Okay, so little story about this. I thought for sure I knew this guy's name, but as I was going through this, I was double checking some of them.
Yeah.
So the first thing that came to my head was furry.
That sounds right, but you're gonna tell me that's wrong.
I am. So I type in Mario furry.
Oh no. No.
I start to see some pictures of like Mario and Luigi in the Tanuki suits.
Okay.
They're burnt in my mind now.
So
this guy's actually called a Fuzzy.
Okay, you were basically right.
Yes, but just those two letters can really screw it up for you.
You're saying we're not exhibiting those on the show?
No, that's round 2 DLC that those
Oh,
might
okay.
be there.
I can see that. Okay. So, Fuzzy. No, hard no.
I'm hard no. Too much of a hazard. Wouldn't work. Not well known enough.
That's definitely true.
Let's see. Okay, this was another obscure one. This is called a Groll. Grrrrol.
That's a terrible name. It really
Yeah.
is.
It's like all of the other Mario characters are like something with like a Y on the end. Spiny, pokey, something.
I'm thinking Thwomp
Groll.
Womp and
Yeah. Romp.
that's perfect.
He's rolling, he's romping.
Okay, we need to send a letter to Nintendo right now. That's the greatest
Petition.
thing I've
This
ever
is a romp.
heard. Okay.
So what do you think about a Groll, a Dave Grohl being in Mario Party?
So I'm thinking, having your party be a romp, that's a good thing. If he was named
Right.
Romp, I'd say yes.
A
But
romp, a ruckus,
yeah,
real
but
shin.
a Growl, that's a downer, man. You don't want a Growl in your party.
Yeah. Hard no for me.
A very painful no. I'm not sure what I'm saying.
Okay, this was kind of an obscure one that I really didn't know about. I believe it's called a Hucket crab.
Sure. Tell me anything, I'll believe it.
So I think it's basically trying to get at a hermit crab, but it hucks dirt clods at you.
Nintendo with the vocabulary. Okay.
Yeah. So what do you think about this little guy?
I think he should be in more mini games because that sounds adorable and a great, mini game. But as playable character, we're gonna also say no.
You know, with his little claw, he couldn't jump up and hit the dice block. Look at him. He's ready, just drawing a dice block right above it.
He does look awfully sad that he's not part of the party. I mean,
Yeah. Who else we got? Okay, this is a wild one. This is Kamek. So they're already in the game. I don't know what turn it is. Maybe I think it's like round 3 and 6, maybe. They fly around and basically make bad luck spaces.
no,
So you can
extra
lose.
bad luck spaces. Come on.
That's on turn 6. Originally it's bad luck, then it turns to like extra bad luck.
Okay.
You can lose coins, you can lose stars, you can, I think, lose an item or something, but bad wizard witch man. That's his purpose. So what do you think?
Aren't there different colors of Kameks in different games? I'm trying to find a possibility.
There was like some idea I had that same thing. Like, there was like a pink one or something.
Sounds
or like
right.
a red one. I don't know.
I think I'm going to give this one a maybe, because for some reason I'm looking at this and I can visualize it. I can see it.
I would love it, but I'm gonna say no on this one.
I mean,
he's wearing a bow tie, and it's not party attire. That's business. He's keeping order on the board.
fair enough.
Okay, time for a big boy. King Bomb.
So first of all, the fact that they decided to pull King Bomb out of Super Mario 64 and put him in Super Mario Party is fantastic. I thought he was lost in time forever.
No, I did too. I was like, ooh, this is kind of a cool callback to that, because I don't know of a game that I've seen him in since.
No. He's been very badly treated. But
Well, yeah, you get thrown off a giant mountain.
but we know this sticker exists only so he can be like on that one stage. So he's not coming back as a character as much as his
Yeah.
mustache would make the game complete.
I agree. Too much of a stage hazard. All right,
No,
Peepa.
she's just a dumb boo. Why would he be in the game?
That's what I don't know the purpose of this thing. I really don't. It's like in the Mario universe, there's boos which are so widely known, and it's like, what is this reject boo?
Had to be the new Super Mario Brothers, right?
That's what I was thinking, but I need to do some more research on this thing. I was like, this thing's just no, it's not a boo. It doesn't work. Yeah,
Agreed.
so I'm no. If this gets put in as DLC, I'll throw my Switch away. I will just throw it in the street.
He's not that scary.
Yeah, he's vile. He's disgusting. All right. The classic Mario penguin.
It's another one I just love how adorable they are. I want them in the game so bad in my heart, but my head's telling me a different story. It's not a good one.
This is one that I feel like it's such a fan favorite that I can actually somehow see it slipping in as DLC. I feel like how can you deny the penguin? Like ever since I saw those in Mario 64, I was like, these are just awesome.
They are. I mean, especially with the squeaking every time they step, like you have
Yep.
to love them. But why does he even have sticker? Where did you find this?
So there is a mini game that has the penguins.
Okay.
You're on ice and you're trying to corral them into a pen.
Oh, you're right. Yep.
So they're in that. I think they might be in another one. I can't remember though, but that's the one that I can think of the most. Oh, they're in the one where it's a 2v2 minigame and you're trying to like basically shave ice to make like a tall tower.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They're carrying like the little, it looks like almost like snow cone bottom
Yep.
that you're shaving the ice into.
Side note, that was the first time I've ever played a Mario Party minigame thinking, oh, this is so easy. I know exactly what I'm doing. And then my ice ran out, and I was
That?
like,
Yep.
wait, I'm an idiot.
That's exactly what
That's
happened to me. I was like,
That doesn't happen very often.
that was one of the ones where I didn't read the instructions like whatsoever. I just like started the mini game and I was like, I just have to crank this ice out as quickly as possible. And then I get done and I'm like, wait, I didn't win? Like, what is this? My ice tower is only 2 meters tall.
Yeah. So good minigame.
All right. A Pokey. What do we think about Pokey?
I think Pokey should be in tennis, but not Mario Party.
I could see that.
Like you need some tall character.
Right. The thing with tennis is, yeah, too many of their characters are just tiny humanoid size. I liked when they added like the big characters, like Petey Piranha, something like that.
Yep.
Pokey could actually work because like with those moves where you are doing like the almost trick save, I could see him like extending out there and saving the ball.
Yeah, that or like deconstructing himself and reconstructing himself. Yeah,
Yeah. There's something there.
but not
But for Mario Party now. Yeah. Okay, this was another one where I was like, what is this thing's name? I think it's called a Porcu something. Porcu Cheap, Porcu
Cheap sounds good.
something. No, it was
think-
Porcu Puffer. Porcu Puffer.
You're getting way too obscure here, even for Nintendo standards. So I'm just gonna say no to the rest of them from here on out. No.
There's some like this young man right here.
Why do people love him?
I am in that camp. I love Spike.
Yeah, I'm not in that camp. I did not take the medicine, whatever it was.
Well, what do you think? DLC possibility.
I think there's very high possibility now that I've seen him around in so many games. Like, even I, who hates the guy, understand that he's a solid Mario Party character. He's first tier, or Mario character.
I'd definitely say that Spike has possibility. He's in Mario Tennis. He's humanoid, more or less. He can do all the things that all the other characters do.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that hard to make him.
So to me, this is high up on the chances of getting in.
I agree, but begrudgingly.
All right, Sumo Bro. These are the guys that are up in the clouds, and they do a little sumo stomp and make lightning come down and shock you.
One, he's not fat enough.
Yeah,
Two,
definitely not. He doesn't live up to his sumo name.
Two, he looks like he really enjoyed some chocolate or something. I don't know what.
Yeah. Or like a big 5 o'clock shadow or something.
He's not wearing a bow tie. He's
Like this is a Koopa who's like old and grown and just is
now
letting himself go.
There you go. Yeah, I can see that. But we both agree no. We don't even have to discuss this.
All right, we won't. Then.
Zubat. Oh yeah, Zubat's number one. He is top tier in the game.
Yeah, Zubat. Well, this is a ukulele. Why does every bat look like this?
It's a good question.
Can we figure that out?
Include that in your letter to Nintendo.
This is called a swoop.
Okay.
Because it swoops down.
No. Really?
Yeah. So what do you think about this guy? This guy will actually appear in the plaza every once in a while and talk to you, which I thought was strange.
That's news to me, and since I've never seen him, I have to say resounding bottom of the tier, no. There's no way. But
I'm gonna say no.
Things.
I agree. I'm saying no, but when I saw him in the plaza, I had some different thoughts. I don't know. Okay. To the big boys. This is a Thwomp.
He can't be in as much as I'd love it because he's too important as a stage hazard, but you know.
I'll agree with that. But what I want to talk about with this guy, whatever happened to the blue ones?
Womps?
Yeah. Do you not remember in like Mario 64 and like Mario Kart and Bowser's Castle?
4, they're in it.
Yeah, it's like when was the switch to this?
I mean, they've always both been there.
I feel like I haven't seen a blue one though in like a while. I feel like they're phasing it out.
You're right, and I don't know why. Because
I prefer the blue one.
Yeah, because they talk to you in 64 and they tell you things. And there's the King Womp too.
I'm saying, yeah, but R.I.P. blue one.
R.I.P. blue.
All right, your boy.
I thought he was going to be in from the beginning. I'm actually disappointed when I started up the game and Toad didn't join my party instantly. I mean, they got rid of Boo's position in the board, so Boo could be in. They got rid of so many other characters and made him playable, but Toad, no. It's an outrage.
One thing I want to point out about Toad is notice he's wearing the bow tie, which I feel like is the kiss of death for DLC. You can't wear a bow tie in the DLC. You're too business.
I mean, we'll see how it plays out, but that seems like the best reason we have so far.
All right, similar Toadette.
They're a package deal, one or the
Yep.
other, or both or none.
Yep, completely agree. This guy couldn't even tell you what he's called.
So confirmed, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, he's so well known that Kanye's talking about him. But yeah, definitely no for me.
You can echo that statement.
Okay. Now we got a Womp. Or maybe I switched the two around.
I definitely did earlier, but
Womp or a Womp. It doesn't matter.
I mean, I would love for him to be in the game and for them to only use that one sound effect that's in Mario 64 for these guys. But it's just not
Stage
practical.
hazard.
Yeah.
Once you become a stage hazard, you're basically done.
That's pretty much it.
Wiggler?
Has a chance.
Think
I
so?
Wouldn't have said that a while ago, but I'd say this day and age, why not?
There is one mini game where Wiggler's in, where you try to pet it and not wake it up. But that's really... Well, actually, it is basically the item shop guy in this game.
But there are multiple Wigglers.
I don't know. This one, I'm going no.
Fair enough.
And last but not least, a big cube of Yoshi flesh.
What? Oh, the cute. Wait. We do not know that is Yoshi flesh.
That is 100% Yoshi flesh.
Where is the proof of this?
Miyamoto, it's in the fine print when you buy the game.
I cannot believe that.
So what do you think Yoshi flesh as a new DLC character?
I mean, how could you have Yoshi flesh and Yoshi at the same time? Like, could you not play them in the same
No, it's
game?
just another Yoshi. There's plenty.
Okay.
They're like farm animals in the Mario universe.
Why are you making me so sad right now?
They run around in herds, like they're just pack animals. This
I'm
is
not
Yoshi hunting season.
I can't even answer this anymore. No,
So,
just take it away.
well, what if this was a new dice block?
Just take it away.
If this was a dice block, what would it roll? What would the sides be?
It would just give you coins. You'd
Just
be
coins?
yeah.
You
The whole
can't.
thing
No,
would be
no
coins.
movement. No
Right.
movement. Just coins.
Yeah,
That's fair. There's not a dice block that does that.
I think you could win.
It's unique.
No, actually 5 sides that are 3 coins, and then 1 side that's 10 moves, and that's it.
Okay. Well, that's all the DLC sticker guys I was going to ask you about.
So we came up with like 5 new character possibilities.
I think we said Spike is maybe. Birdo maybe. Dave Grohl maybe. I don't know.
Dave Grohl, yeah.
It's just
He's always ready to party.
right. So yeah, Mario Party's awesome. If you
Way
haven't
better
gone,
than expected.
yeah, definitely a lot better than the 10, 9, 8, 7. So we've also been playing the original Legend of Zelda. That's been pretty fun. It's been pretty different for sure. Because had you played it much before we started playing it?
I had spent probably a grand total of 5 minutes. Probably hadn't gotten past the first scroll of the screen
Good.
before I rage quit, and that's about it. Yeah. So
Well,
basically a normal amount.
yeah, normal amount. I was sort of the same way. I got past like the first dungeon because really that's all I had the patience to find originally. But yeah, so recently me and Brock have been playing the original Legend of Zelda. If you buy the online package for the Switch, you get all of the NES classic games. So what we've been doing is kind of we live in different states now, so we've kind of been playing it like what I kind of call like pass the controller. Like he'll die, and then we'll switch who's playing because on this online mode, someone's playing the game and has kind of ultimate control, but then they can pass the who's playing to the other character, and then they can play, and then you can switch back and forth like that online, which is it's neat. I'm glad that they did something like that, just so that you can play online. You don't have to both be sitting on the same couch. So yeah, we've been playing it like that. We've gotten, I'd say, a decent amount through so far.
Oh yeah, way more than I would have ever expected to get in that
Yeah.
game.
It definitely gives me like an appreciation for older games. Just the amount of patience you need to complete one.
Right. I don't understand how players used to do this, and without save states, I'm not even sure we could do it.
Right.
But you said an appreciation for the games themselves, and we've been playing for a long time now. Even though sure you're going through the same overworld spaces multiple times, whatever, it still feels like an adventure, which
Right.
I would have never expected out of an NES game because as someone who didn't have an NES, you pick up these games for 5 seconds, you say that's the game, and then you're done usually. It's not the case with this, and makes me want to try more.
Right. And it's kind of weird because, like we were saying, we hadn't played this game before, and with Breath of the Wild being kind of the most recent Zelda iteration, seeing how things have evolved to get us to this point is really interesting. And I know in the development of Breath of the Wild, they kept talking about how they wanted to kind of get back to the kind of purity that this first game has, like the pure adventure, the pure, just kind of exploration aspect of it. So I
And
thought that was. Go ahead.
and they succeeded. I don't know
Yeah,
about
yeah,
you,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
I didn't understand the change when all I had ever played was the other 3D Zeldas. But after playing this, it makes complete sense.
Right. Yeah. I'd gotten so used to just like a linear progression. I mean, there's somewhat of a linear progression, but not as much as the other modern Zelda games, except for Breath of the Wild. So it was refreshing in a way. And again, it was nice to see kind of that evolution.
Yeah, and there are things that we both gasped about because we've seen them basically only in Breath of the Wild and in this game now.
Right, right.
In Breath of the Wild, they were new to us because we hadn't played this and we thought it just came out of nowhere. No, they actually are
Yeah,
Zelda from the start.
like the amount of like callbacks that they had done to the original game, I was just like taken back by. And just some other things like we'd gotten one thing that stands out to me is we got the the blue ring, which basically gave you a new tunic that gives you basically more defense, which I didn't even realize that the original game had a mechanic where you change your tunic basically. The first games where I had seen that were like, or at least really noticed it, were like Ocarina of Time, because like that was such a big mechanic. You
Right.
use a blue tunic to go underwater, use the red one to be immune to fire. I was like, okay, this is like kind of cool. I didn't even like realize that it went that far back.
Right, and you pointed out when we got the blue pearl, I'm not even sure what it's actually called, but it's the reason his tunic changes colors is probably just because of the limited color palette on an NES.
Right?
And
Yeah.
it seems to me now that they took that and they ran with it in the later games, and it works.
True. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So yeah, it's super eye-opening and super awesome to play that game, especially kind of in this order. I mean, it would probably be more satisfying as if we had grown up with that game and seen it the other direction of evolution, like played that first and then played all the way through to Breath of the Wild. But I mean, this is just as satisfying. It's interesting to say the least.
Right. And it makes me want to keep playing the old one and Breath of the Wild. I mean,
Right. So I kind of just wanted to talk about some of the items that I thought were interesting and kind of some of the differences that we had seen so far. Like the bow and arrow. It was just was this whole game. The amount of what am I looking for?
feedback,
What's that?
information, feedback.
Yeah,
information.
like the lack of information almost.
Yeah.
Like the trial and error that goes into like every single aspect of the game. It's like we got the bow from a dungeon. We couldn't use it though, so we were like, okay, this is like kind of different. Like in some Zelda games, you get the bow and it immediately comes with arrows or something because it wants you to be able to test that out. But not in this game. We're like, okay, we have a bow. So I think we had noticed before in some of the shops they sold arrows. So we're like, okay, well obviously we have to go get some arrows. And we start shooting it and we notice that it's super powerful. It kills enemies in like some of them almost like one hit. We're like, oh, this is super helpful for the point we're at in the game, because at that point we only had like 3-4 hearts, and the game has a very, to me, a steep curve at the beginning. It's like a huge barrier to entry because I feel like the way the movement works of the enemies, they're so sporadic and they take a fair amount of hearts, and you have so little at the beginning that it's scary almost to do melee combat. So the bow and arrow was like a godsend. It was like, okay, we could easily kill these enemies from a distance without getting almost killed. And but the funny thing is we didn't know when we could use it. We were noticing, we kept saying like, oh, it ran out of juice, like we can only use it like a couple times per stage or whatever, per screen. And we ultimately, I don't know how it came up, but we ultimately found that the arrows run on rupees. So however many rupees you have, that's how many arrows you have. Every time you shoot an arrow, it subtracts 1 rupee from your from your wallet or whatever.
And man, does it seem dumb that we didn't realize that. But
Right.
It gives you no indication, and you don't care
Yeah.
about your rupees because you normally have like 0. It's so difficult to get rupees in that
Yep.
game that when you look up and say, I have 0 rupees, it's a normal.
Right. So it's like, it was just this thing where it's just the little things like that that are so just, you would, there's no instructions like a modern game. There's no like you can't use this item because you don't have rupees. There's no indication whatsoever. So, but it's kind of nice. It's just like I like a good puzzle almost, and trying to figure stuff like that out. And that's almost what Zelda is, and why I like it. It's a puzzle game. I mean, it has combat, but I like the puzzles.
Yeah, it's definitely not a complaint, and I'll be the first to admit I like a bit of hand holding in my games. I liked Skyward Sword actually, and thought that you were okay with the hand holding, but it kind of comes with the territory with any NES game, and with this, it's perfect that there's no instruction because, as we said earlier, the entire point is to go on an adventure. And do you get instructions when you're starting out on an adventure? No, you just try things, you do things,
Yeah.
you see what happens.
It's a good point. So yeah, there's been some stuff like that we're even still stuck. We have refused up until this point to get any sort of to look up anything. I know it's all out there, but we just we're stubborn. We want to play this the old school way.
We haven't even looked at a map, and apparently a map was included with the cartridge, so we're
Right.
older than old school.
We went back and forth of do we end up looking up a map online, since it was, I guess, apparently included with the cartridge originally, but we'll see what we do. At this point, we haven't looked at a map.
We've gone too far. We won't look at a map.
But yeah, there's just so many things that I feel like we haven't even done the second temple. We don't even know where it's at. Somehow we did Temple 1, we found that no problem. I think then we did Temple 3, and then we found Temple 5, I think.
Right.
We were like alternating temples for the longest time, but then like we found Temple
4
4,
and 6. We
4 and
found 4 and
6.
6.
So we're like, I think we're trying to go back through some of those and just get some of the items and complete those, but still can't find Temple 2 somehow. Hopefully it doesn't hold like a game-changing item. Someone's probably laughing and saying like, you need to go there.
Yep, probably gives us all sorts of extra strength that we need. Would have made
Yeah.
all of the others easier, but you know what? We did it the hard way, and that's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a piece of meat in our inventory that we have no idea what the heck it does. So we tried feeding it to the little Dodongo things before because we had played Ocarina of Time, and that's like a huge mechanic in there. To defeat like the Dodongo boss, you have to throw bombs in its mouth. So we knew that was a thing. But I feel like we tried using bombs on them, but it just didn't. It wouldn't eat it or something. It just kept exploding. We just didn't set it correctly. So we're like, oh, maybe we like feed it this meat. Nothing.
Yeah.
So we have this piece of meat we're still stuck with. We have no idea what to do.
That'll be a update for a later episode.
Yeah.
What happened with the meat?
Will we figure out what to do with the Yoshi flesh?
Please no.
You hate this.
He's my favorite.
The candle is weird. You can only use it. You can use it one time per screen, which is strange.
So far, the candle is like the iron boots of this game.
Yeah. Very
Walk
annoying
into
to
a
use.
You have to go to the pause menu. You switch to the candle. You use the candle. You go to the pause menu. You switch to your bow, and then you play the room.
Right.
Which I kind of expected such a thing. Is this is really the only thing in the game that's annoyed me? But it's still annoying.
I mean, at least in this game, there's not a ton of items, so there's not like that constant menu switching back and forth items. Like, I get that it's annoying, but like with so few items, it's really not a big deal. Oh, there's one. I can't remember what I was going to say. There was another item that kind of threw me.
We still have about half the inventory empty, so we know there's
Yeah.
plenty to
So-
find.
Right. There's stuff out there, but it's such a strange game to me, but it's awesome. Well, one thing that I thought was cool was the raft and the ladder that we found. To me, they did like a super good job of representing those in Breath of the Wild, the raft at least.
Yep.
That I was like, oh, I love that this is in the original, and then like that's where the origins of it is.
Right.
Because I honestly don't know of another instance of that I can think of.
No, definitely. When I first saw it, the first thing I thought of was Breath of the Wild, and
Yeah.
like I said earlier, that's my favorite part of playing this game is seeing how it expands the universe because things have been lost in all the games we played just because they didn't fit. But
Right.
they fit in the original and they fit in Breath of the Wild.
Well, and even like it's so strange that some of the things, like the swords, for instance, you start off with just the sword. I think it's just
Doesn't
called the
have-
sword. I don't think it has
yeah.
a name. And then, so we've got the upgrade of that called the white sword, which it almost looks like the master sword to me. It's like has kind of a blue hilt with a white blade. It honestly almost looks like the sword in. It reminded me of like Skyward Sword when you're going through all you're like tempering the blade or whatever at the different shrines.
Right.
So I thought that was interesting that the Master Sword isn't really named in the game. It's not. There's no like the best Master Sword, which is like it's become such like a staple in other games. It's just the white sword, and I think the best sword is called like the magic sword or something.
Huh, I didn't know that. I figured it would be called the Master Sword, but
Yeah, like when we were playing one time, we let the start menu run, and it like went through all the items. I wanted to look at them so bad, but at the same time, I was like trying to shield my eyes because I was like, I want this to be a surprise. But that was one thing I caught. I think it was called like the magic sword or something. So
right. Yeah. I mean, they've developed the newest Zelda as a combination of all of them that have come before. They've built on the lore, they've built on the gameplay, they've built on everything, so it still feels familiar, but at the same time, it's revolutionary. That's why we all like it so much, I think.
yeah. What do you think about the Nintendo's most recent comment about the timeline? About
Not even,
so
I don't
they
care
came out.
about the timeline. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. Well, they came out with this comment and it was like everyone wanted to know where Breath of the Wild was on the official timeline placement, and they basically just said it fits in all the timelines. The timeline splits off into three different branches, and they said it fits in all of them. So I was like, okay, Breath of the Wild is just all of them. I feel like that's them trying to get rid of the timeline. I feel like they don't care about it. I feel like it's just like every game they make now, they have to somehow justify where it's at, even though they don't want to do that.
I feel like I've heard at some point one of the producers of Zelda made that actual statement. He said they're individual games and it's the fans that want to tie them together, which
Yeah, I mean,
that's fine. I think it should be left to the fans, and it was a mistake to ever try and make a timeline.
Yeah, right.
But they got themselves into it by publishing Hyrule Historia, so they gotta continue it.
Well, anything else you want to talk about on Zelda?
Nope. We can wait till the end to really.
Yeah, we'll do I feel like we're about halfway through right now. We can recap it at some point, but our final thoughts are on everything. And if we ever find the second temple, maybe.
Maybe we'll beat it without the second temple. Maybe it's like
Yeah,
the wild.
we'll just not have a piece of the Triforce and beat it. It'll be fine.
It has
we'll
to be a
find
hole
the-
in the middle, right?
Yeah, we'll go out into the ocean and find all the shards broken up, Wind Waker style.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was all of our topics for this time. So, no idea about a schedule of this thing. This is just something fun that we're trying out. Who knows if it will go anywhere? But if you liked it, yeah, we're going to the moon. If you liked it, keep checking in. I'm sure we'll do more of these just for fun. Again, don't know about the schedule per se or the frequency that will make them, but I mean, it was fun. We like doing this stuff. We like talking about video games, so I'm sure we'll keep it up. We are trying to make a website. We're still trying to basically find a way to find a home for all these podcasts. We're probably going to make some videos out of these. So we'll update you again with more. Basically, for right now, I would say if you're trying to look for this, search the channel name, Fourshade Studios. We're pretty much on all the social medias, Facebook, YouTube,
Google
Twitter,
Plus.
Google
Are we on
Plus.
Yes.
Yeah, even though it's getting shut down. So yeah, just search Fourshade Studios. It's Fourshade Studios. And yeah, if you have questions or comments about anything, if you want to tell us where to find the second dungeon, yeah,
Please.
you can email us comments or questions or whatever. We'll read them through. We can talk about them on the show at fourshadestudios@gmail.com. So yeah, we'll see you guys again. See ya.
See you later.